It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, all you Days fans. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. And if you all haven't already been doing this, you should do this now. Make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram. And if you like our beautiful shining faces, make sure you head over to YouTube and check out our channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so that way you'll never miss a live broadcast brought to you by the fine folks here at Dishin Days. And if you'd like to take us on that long walk or on the treadmill at the gym, or if you're stuck in traffic wondering what happened on Days this week, well, just tune in to your favorite podcast station and look for us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, make sure you buy our merch. That's right. We have these lovely things available to you on a t-shirt, on a mug, on a notebook, on a sticker. I don't know about that sticker, but just go check us out. We are dishindays.threadless.com. Buy all of your Dishin Days merch to show that you like us and love us and want a whole lot more of us. And while you're at it, make sure you go over to JLJ Media on YouTube and show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is currently in a 16-hour telethon. And I believe he is in hour 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, hour 8. So he is halfway through. He's raising money for charity. He's just chit-chatting with folks. And while you're there, scope out all of his original audio dramas and his reviews on Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, and General Hospital. If you head on over, not during this show, just say Dishin Days sent you over on JLJ Media on YouTube. Wow, I did good.
You did good.
Yeah. Well, what did we think of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives?
That it was a decent week. Wasn't like terribly exciting, but we got some movement. We got it was a decent, it was good.
Content wise, it was a decent week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was we didn't have, like, I noticed when I was doing the rundown, we had focus. It wasn't like, a week where every single character was on where for like one episode or two episodes and like a lot. It was pretty focused this week. I thought it was good.
Yeah, pacing was really good. Like I was saying, like stuff was like moving and stuff not got resolved, but storylines got moved a lot forward, which is good.
There were moments this week where I was like, interesting. And that's all I'll say regarding that. Well, with that being said, let's get started. But before we get started, I will be remiss without wishing a very happy birthday to our very own Justin Lee Hareld, who celebrated his birthday last night and is here today, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Bright-eyed for a different reason, yes, and not so bushy-tailed, but yeah. We had an amazing
I don't know if his eyes watery.
Well, listen, in the words of that viral TikTok,
are we freezing up?
Ooh, we had a time last night. We had a time last night.
We did. Yes, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Tony, for hosting.
I host everywhere and everything.
Yes.
Araceli, you missed a time last night.
You were missed, Araceli. Yes, people were asking. I know you had other commitments, but people were asking about you. So, yeah.
Yes, I was I had a quiet night in, and then I'm about to go to bed. I'm like, what the heck are all these text messages?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize.
Let it
I
be
looked this
known.
when you said good morning, boys. I looked at the text, but I was like, ooh.
I was like, ooh, we're on this thread. This is the one we posted this on.
Don't remember sending
Yes,
those.
this is the one. Yeah. The direct texting didn't come from my end this time.
And most of the text messages, Justin and I were standing right in front of each other.
I know we were. And special
just
thank
can't
you
say out
to
loud.
our Days fam who came out. Elia, Kentu, always fun. Carson and his lovely wife, and Ryan, Kwan, and his husband Neil.
I wish I had like a quarter of Elia's energy.
Yeah,
like just a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you,
I died out quick.
Yeah, you did. We always have a good time.
Yes.
I feed off of Elia Cantu's energy. But last night I was like, honey, I'm going home. I went to Pavilions and I took it home. I had some lovely taquitos and watched one episode of Days once I got back. But happy birthday, Justin.
Thank you.
How old are you now?
35.
That's already a
Let's
lot.
move on. Yes.
Yeah. I asked for your age, not the age you put on Actors Access. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that's 32. But
oh, so you just lying all around, aren't you?
Me and every other actor in history, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our favorite moment of the show when we try to say this all at the same time while I turn the hourglass. It is now time to start Dishin Days. I'm glad you realized how late you were. She said, I'm going to do a solo.
No, it came out. Okay, so my computer is kind of, I don't know what's going on. It's kind of freezing up a little bit with you guys. Like sometimes it's normal, sometimes it's slow. So if I start talking at an odd place, I promise I'm not trying to cut you off. It's just been a little wonky.
Uh-oh. Well,
okay.
Let's kick things off with our first storyline, which is full of fried bologna and mayonnaise. There it is. We're talking about our lovely Susan Banks is alive and well.
And ready to eat.
What do you think? Was this one of the interesting ones, Tony? Is this what you...
It's Susan.
But y'all don't even know what to say because y'all haven't said anything.
No, I
was waiting for you.
Something.
I don't know what to say.
Okay, I think we're all happy that Susan is back.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She's magic all on her own, and this is just such. I mean, I can't even believe what's been done with the character the last couple of years. Stacey Hyduke has just re-energized Susan in a way that just makes us all feel so emotionally attached to her. Like we kind of wish she was in our lives full time because she is that quirky, but she's also that lovable.
Maybe not full time for me, but make a pop in once in a while. I think if Susan was a real life person, I think I'd have to take her in
doses. Yeah. But she's just like it was having her on screen so much this week reminded me of why I love her so much. And I love that her faith is such a big part of who she is, and that she doesn't just talk to the talk, she really walks the walk. She's really all about forgiveness, and like she forgave Ava, she admonished EJ, but she was just also so happy to see him. She just needed to come home.
I still like the dynamic between Dan and Stacey when Stacey is Susan.
Yeah.
It's such a different, I have to almost remember, I'm like, oh, that's all. She's also Kristen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like the dynamic changes when she's Susan and not Kristen. It really is like Susan is his kind of kryptonite, I guess, so to speak, when he's like being bad or doing it. You could tell he's just like, Mom, you know?
Yeah.
I'm curious, Hugh. I'm curious who, because there's somebody took Susan, and if I missed it, we know who it is.
No,
somebody took Susan from the car and brought her to Edmund. Who do we think that was?
I'm at a loss of that.
Thomas. I'm thinking of if it's someone we know. I was like, maybe it's Thomas. But I don't. Yeah, I'm like, who else would it be? Yeah, thinking of trying to think of people that we know and like.
Well, also, did anyone else think why Edmund and not Roger?
Well, that's why I'm thinking maybe it was I think the person thought that Edmund would either keep her away from Salem. I don't know. Whoever it was sort of must know that, had to have some inkling that this is the way Edmund would behave. Because like you said, why not bring her to Roger? And plus also the person obviously doesn't want her in Salem and doesn't want her with EJ or around Salem for whatever reason, maybe. So that, because first I thought it was Rolf actually, and then I was like, no, Rolf wouldn't do that to EJ. Like he would let him know his mother was alive, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's not Rolf. Who else that we know of that? And it was like someone who has henchmen. It was like, okay, maybe it's Thomas.
Well, someone in the chat room thinks it was EJ. Thinks EJ did it all just to get to Ava, but I don't want to believe that because he loves his mother. He loves his mother.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
but she was also a little too comfortable, just chained up at Edmund's.
She really seem too.
She wasn't scared.
Susan's like that. Susan just makes. I feel like that's just her. She's like, well, I'm here. Might as well, make the best of it.
Well, I will tell you this: when Jesus says yes, nobody can say no, because Susan had the power of God. She said, come over here, hold my hand. You say yours, I'm going to say mine. We're going to pray for strength. Hallelujah. On these chains.
Hallelujah.
That are meant to be broken.
Okay, so the stuff like that, that stuff, I kind of like, all right, I'll go with it, but it's too easy. It's too easy for them to just be like, it's too easy. Apologies, writers. It's too easy for an escape for them to be like, oh, we're just going to pray and the chain's going to break. And I'm like, that's just easy. It's too easy for me.
That is the power of Susan's prayer.
I guess I'm just saying, like, it wasn't an exciting escape. You know what I mean? Like,
it didn't need to be. We had to get these people out of the damn country.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
It could have, I'm just saying, like, it just.
Do you think that Susan could have had that same power a few months ago? If she got the power of prayer, she couldn't pray hard enough for somebody to come find her sooner?
She did. She sent signals to Ava. That was explained. She explained that part.
But just now, she been over there locked up, cooped up, and recuperated for how long?
Prayed herself and broke the chain like months ago. That's what his point is. If she could, or is it going to be like, oh, because there's more. It's 3 people, not 1. There's more whatever. There's more juju in the air or whatever to break the. There's more Jesus air in the.
I'll tell you this. I put more stock in Susan and her faith and her powers than anybody else in Salem's just basic common sense.
Okay, I'll agree to that.
But she should have prayed about this a couple of months ago.
She's the Celeste now, because Celeste used to be like that truth teller that would just be like, shit's gonna happen, and they were like, no, mom, or Lexi was always like, no, mom, that's gonna happen, and then whatever she said was happened, and they were like, oh, Celeste, you were right. It happened like over and over. It was kind of funny. Like after a certain point, they just should have been like, but that's Susan's role now.
Well, Celeste said it a little differently. I have a premonition, darling.
Yes.
Oh, I saw it in a dream yesterday. I used to love the way she talked. She was just so fancy.
She was fancy, but also she always made me feel like nothing good was going to happen.
Oh, yes.
Like nothing, absolutely nothing good.
She would be sitting there calm, cool, and collected, and then she'd be like, oh. No. And then Lexi will come in, Mom, what's wrong? Premonition, darling. You're in grave danger. So you must listen to what I have to say.
Yeah, there was never anything positive with that woman. I like Susan. She's cheerful.
Well, Susan is more like, now wait a minute. I see your boy in the living room with Edmund, but he got a gun.
I love how she just erased Rafe out of there. She didn't
even mention Rafe. Like she saw Rafe and Trip as clear as day, and she said, "Your boy is in there." It was like nobody else. You don't want to say the whole thing, Susan.
It was Harris, we need to save you so you can save Trip. No mention of saving Rafe or nothing.
No. Okay.
He's like the Cal or Michelle.
The moment that I kind of giggled a little bit was when the premonition came, and she was like, Ava looked at Harris and was like, "You have to save Trip." And Harris is kind of looking like, "Bitch, what else you want me to do? I'm locked up with you." What are you?
And this is okay. And so this is the part of the story that I'm just kind of like, and I understand why people were so harsh about this throughout the week, was that, to your point, we could have actually taken Harris and Ava and just plucked them right out of the situation and put someone else in, and it wouldn't have made a bit of difference.
What?
And that was the comment that a lot of people, I think I'm actually saying it in a more kind way, that people were just really kind of confused about why we were spending so much time on the Harris and Ava of it all.
Well, Susan did kind of explain that. She was like, the
Ava part. She explained why she contacted Ava. She explained that part. But it was the Ava and the Harris part that people were like, we want Susan back. Why are we spending so much time on these two?
Well,
they're developing because they're developing they're developing a relationship with these two people.
Did you not see how she looked at him with his tank top half raised?
I'm sorry, it's not landing.
Really?
Well, I will say this: the same looks that Ava has when she looks over at Harris is the same look I have watching Ava looking at Harris.
And that's fine, but like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not landing. It's this, whatever they're trying to do, couple, whatever, it's not landing. And I totally get why people are upset, because it's the thing that they do where they just mush people together. And then they were like, oh, well, they worked together before, so this will be great. That'll work out great. It's as chemistry partners. I'm like,
but you just answered. You just said it. No. See, here's the thing. When it comes to the soap world, if fans were just open arms and just let things happen, then maybe, and I'm not saying this happens, but maybe writers wouldn't feel the need to like push certain people together because of soap fandom.
Yeah.
It's like they're pushing Harris and Ava together. Why? Because they work together on General Hospital, right? Yeah. So it's in their mind. It's like, oh, those fans are gonna like this. They like that. They'll like this. Nope. But if y'all just, and I'm not blaming it on soap fans, but I'm just saying, like, if sometimes you just let shows be and let them take you on a guided tour instead of saying, why won't they do this? Bing, bing, bing. I can write better.
It's just that the build was so wonky. Whatever this build is, it's wonky, and I could see more of the progression this week with Ava's development as an individual. She let go of that guilt. She got Susan's forgiveness. She seems to be in a better headspace. This week was so great for Ava as a character. I feel like she's in a much better headspace than she's been in a very, very, very long time. The rest of that stuff, I'm sorry, it's not landing.
But it's not even that. I mean, yes, are they headed in that direction? Sure, but there's nothing that's like pushing it too much. I don't think. It's just moments where like you kind of look at somebody and you realize you're looking at them differently.
I actually like them together. I wasn't sure I would feel about it just because of the GH stuff, but
Michael, you don't?
I'm not mad about. I don't mind them together. I'm not like, oh, they're such a great couple. I do think they have a rapport on screen together. I think they play well off of each other. And I'm not, I'm not going to say it's not I'm not going to say, oh, it's not landing for me. I'm just still kind of taking it in and watching it develop. And I didn't watch them on General Hospital, so I don't have those preconceptions or whatever. They're new on-screen pairing for me. So I don't have any kind of bias, like if you want to call it bias or anything.
They were never a couple on General Hospital.
Or so whatever they were on General Hospital.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm speaking to the fans who thought that they would work out because they were on GH together. If you were a GH fan, I would remind you that these two, and actually Tamara Brown actually played two different characters in two different decades on General Hospital. Neither one of them was ever in a relationship with Steve Burton's character. So I don't if they were never on-screen partners, I don't know why people thought it would work on Days.
Well, and it's also Days' attempt to try to get General Hospital viewers.
There. Sorry, Justin. I feel like I cut you off earlier as you were explaining your thoughts on Ava and Harris. But while you give your thoughts, I'm going to put up a poll on our Dishin Days Instagram story that asks, do you like Harris and Ava together? Yes or no?
Yeah, I was saying I like them together. I like their rapport. I think if he's gonna stick around, we need to attach him to someone, and I don't necessarily mean romantically. We need to ground him in some way.
Yeah.
And if we're not gonna get a family from him, which could be interesting, we need to put him with people or whatever. And I think Ava's a good match for right now. I think,
Same. He was kind of this off on his own, like after the Bo and Hope stuff wrapped up and he came to Salem. He was just kind of there in the corner, and it's like, okay, we need, like you said, to connect him. Yeah. And that's what they're doing.
The one thing I was like weird about for the plot wise was their like determination to get EJ. Part of me was like, you know what? Let it all go. Like, call it even. Do you know what I mean? Like he sent a hit person to kill you, but that's because you ostensibly killed his mother. Like now she's alive. Like, let it go now. Let's like call it even.
Yeah, let's end this revenge thing. Yeah, this is gonna start to be like when was it EJ and Stefan were like playing cat and mouse with each other, and it was just like every week it was a new set of hijinks that was, found out really quickly. Yeah.
And I really loved Ava's apology to Susan.
That was a sweet scene.
I was sort of kind of waiting for that to happen, like officially do it. And I know because of what was happening before they couldn't. So it was nice that they did it in Salem and sort of had her forgive her and everything. But I like that they had her actually apologize because she was collateral damage essentially.
Yeah.
For his
what I liked about the whole thing is sorry, I was looking down the whole time because I'm putting up the poll. Somebody I deleted it, but someone made a comment of like, stop looking at your phone, Tony. And I'm just like,
he was working. He just said he was going to post a poll on the Instagram.
Well, this was on last week's episodes, but people don't realize, like, I look at my phone for various reasons. My mom may be texting because she's commenting on stuff. I'm like figuring out a poll. There's a lot happening over here. Anywho, what was I gonna say?
Ava.
Oh, I like the fact that they just kind of wrapped all that up to be like, I forgive you, you forgive me. We're one big happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you.
But Ava couldn't do that with EJ is the thing. Like, Ava couldn't do that with EJ. She still has to try to get him. She can't, for whatever reason, forgive him for that. And I had to laugh. Like, EJ was so concerned about the hit that he put on Xander and stopping it. Like, he had like serious, I was like, would he really though? Or would he would have just let like, because when he found out that Susan was alive He had ordered the hit on Xander. And the thing was, the hitman was going to frame Rex for shooting Xander because he was a perfect scapegoat. But then when he found out Susan, he was like, "Oh my god, I have to stop!" And he like peeled out of there. And I was like, "Wouldn't he have just been like, oh well?"
No, I think he would have done that. Yeah,
I don't know. It just seemed like too quick of a change of heart. I don't know.
Sorry.
I did. It did lead to that good. I did appreciate the scene between Xander and. Because Xander obviously knew what was it, or figured out what was happening. Like the gas man was really a hitman, and then EJ comes in and was like, "Oh, well, here's who did it right here." And their little, their scene. I like their little back and forth.
Can we talk about how the fact that EJ wasn't that concerned about getting there that quickly because he had a whole time to change and do his hair before he got over there?
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, it looked like he ran out in the bathrobe, and then when he showed up, he was changed. And I was like, oh, so he ran out and then was like, oh, I gotta change. Ran upstairs, spramped himself, and then.
I would have loved to have just seen him show up in just like his robe and pajamas to be like, wait,
that would have been.
Oh, look, my mom has made it again. She's not caught up because she was under the weather. She's been recovering from knee surgery. But last time I talked, she was doing fine, except that. So she's doing great.
Best to get that done before the weather changes.
Yes. But also this weather change, like my allergies have been crazy. So, and everybody's like going through stuff. So yeah.
We'll get better, Mama Moore.
Yes. Hi, Mom. I'm glad you made it here. Once again, she don't know how she got here, but she's here. I on the lines of Ava and Harris, I don't mind them together. If it's just for a quickie or if it's just for something potential, I don't know. I'm just liking every time he's like half shirtless, she's just like. And I mean, I feel like that's a natural reaction. She ain't been with nobody since Rafe, and she's been like going through stuff and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and all that kind of stuff. At some point, your mind just is like, I just need to be touched.
The London Bridge was going down.
I could have said something there, and then I realized my mom was here.
Yeah.
Anywho, but yeah, I think I think this storyline is one of those things where I'm just like, okay, it's now setting up for something else because now the big thing is, well, it's great that you're back and alive, Susan, but who got you and delivered you to Edmund?
Well, yeah, that's the next part of it is going to be figuring out who did it.
Who done did it?
Yeah.
Who done did it?
At some point, we'll do predictions when we feel like yes, if 2 + 2 = 4 and 5 + 5 = 10, who done took Susan and delivered her to Edmund P. Crumb, and why Edmund P. Crumb and not a Roger or someone? Or then it also, you have to also think about, well, then who was that up in heaven? Because they were talking to Susan. Did she teleport herself? Remember when Marlena and Kate and Kayla died?
No, that was made clear that it was the devil masquerading as Susan.
Remember when she took off the glasses?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Okay, thank you for reminding me because I was like,
that
should have been a clue right there that that it wasn't Susan.
It was the only real dead person, actual person was
Nick and Jordan and Larry Welsh.
Jordan. Because the devil masqueraded as Adrian and Susan.
That's right. Okay, we're fine now. Is there anything else with that storyline? I think
I'm a little disappointed that they used Edmund for this. I think he was such like a great character when he was on, and so sort of like
he wasn't
with Susan. So I know it's like I understand it's 25 years later and people change, but it was like, oh, that's how he's kind of going out.
They didn't have to like tarnish that character.
Yeah.
And like he killed the one girl, but that was
by accident.
That was a one-off incident. He's not like a serial killer.
Yeah.
And
but at least they did a good job of explaining why Susan divorced him.
Appreciate that. But what I would greatly appreciate is if Trip stays home. Because let me tell you, Trip just says and does stuff that he don't need to. It's like, oh, so you have my mom? Oh, that's your mother? And when Rafe kind of looked at him like, this is why you can't be around here.
I do like the cattiness between Trip and Rafe. Like I like they're like bitching towards each other during this whole storyline. Has been fun.
Right. Oh, thank you, Christian Me World, for your $1.99. Thank you for sending your request. I meant to delete that. I found it. Thank you.
Thanks for the $2 though.
But thank you for the $2.
Yes, thank you.
$1.99.
Thank you. I also I found it strange that like Jada came back, but then Rafe was still there. And it's like you just hung out in the hotel room waiting for them to come back. Like you didn't think like, okay, let me stake it out, or like let me like go somewhere. Like you just gonna sit in the room.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Anyway. All right. Well, that was that. And now we're going to move on to our next storyline, which is we all wish we could divorce Rex. What a mess this all became.
He's one of those characters when the hitman knocked him out, I was like, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that they were having this whole argument in front of the hitman, who was the person that texted him.
I know.
Anyway, and
that's not my number, you wanker.
And there's still parts of me that's like, y'all live in Salem. If 2 + 2 = 4, and 5 + 5 = 10. If you said I sent you a text, chances are I didn't, and somebody else did.
Especially when it comes from an unknown number. Like I feel like even though they don't like each other, Rex would probably know Xander's phone number or have it in his phone as like asshole or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like
when someone texts you from an unknown number and says, "Hey, it's Xander," or "Hey," you don't just
believe it.
That's Rex.
Well, also, I was expecting one of two things. One, I was like, okay, the gas man is going to turn around and said, "I'm the one that did it," but he didn't. Or I thought they were going to get into a fussment and they were going to be like, "Well, I didn't text you," and then turn to him and go, but nope. And then let me tell you, he's not a great hitman, because once it should have been, you know what I mean? Like,
he sat there and like stalled and was.
But instead, he went. I've been sitting and had a full.
Yeah.
And again,
I would have just popped him.
This conversation was long enough for EJ to realize that his mom was not dead, for them to have a whole conversation, them forgive each other, then he leave in a haste, but then decide, oh yeah, I can't leave in my PJs, run upstairs, find clothes, change clothes, drive over to Xander's place to walk in, and still, Xander was still very much alive. That's a long time. If EJ lived 5.2 miles away from Xander, then how many minutes did he have to change and get to Xander's before Xander was going to be killed by the hitman that he ordered? The math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
If we try, I would, honestly, I really don't care about the mathing right now, because I so despise Rex as a character at this point that everything that I wanted to happen happened to him this week. He both got knocked out. He got knocked out, which is fine, because I'm sorry, he needed to shut up. Somebody needed to shut him up. And then he gets home and his wife is like, "I want a divorce."
I know. I was like, blessed be that Kate finally brought Sarah to her senses.
Oh, Kate was everything in that conversation with Sarah. She was 100% on point with everything she said.
Oh, Michael Myers, not you having a fan. Well, thank you for the $1.99.
There's one out there. I bet he doesn't think I'm uncouth. I bet he appreciates my foul mouth. Thank you. Jacarius?
Yes, Jacarius.
Yeah. Well,
Jacarius?
Michael Myers, I guess your OnlyFans is only worth $1.99.
You can get a combo for $7 like Denise Richards. JK, LOL.
Anywho's it's y'all really don't like Rex. I didn't realize how much y'all did not like Rex. Y'all collectively do not like a Rex.
And he's just one of those characters where he's an idiot. He's an asshole. He's cheated on Sarah several times, and he acts holier than thou, like his shit doesn't stink. And that he has and now he's acting like he has some right to this child just because Sarah put his name on the birth certificate.
And then
that doesn't mean shit. And
5 minutes after marrying Sarah, he was whining to mommy and daddy like, "Woe is me! I thought she would love me." I'm sorry. I'm pulling out the big mean Araceli today because I got no sympathy.
Big mean Araceli.
Not the big mean Araceli.
I'm sorry. Man, be a man. Oh my God. Ugh.
You don't know how to be a man. If he knew how to be a man, he and Sarah would probably still be together because he wouldn't have,
Well, Justin, how do you feel about Rex?
I like Rex usually. I'm the one Rex fan, I guess. I feel like he's one of the maybe I don't like him in this storyline, but I like him generally as a character. I feel like he's one of the only guys on the show who has a personality and is a little bit more carefree than a lot of the other characters. So I like that part about him. I don't like him in this storyline. I think he's taking it way too far but we talked about this last week. He's emboldened by Sarah. Sarah has all the
true. She's enabling him.
Yeah.
He has no power without her, and she's giving him all this power to kind of run amok, essentially. And so I'm glad the Kate stuff happened.
I feel like this. I feel like ultimately Rex has always loved Sarah. Mm-hmm. Yes, he made a mistake. Who hasn't in Salem? He made a mistake by cheating. However, I think his love for Sarah has never left. I think in this situation, Sarah obviously knew about that love and used that to her advantage. And he was also, while she was using that to her advantage, he was using her advantage on him for her because he thought that, oh, well, this is a way that I can win her back if I just am on her side with this. And I think that's why he was going so hard with Xander, is because that's what Sarah wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so he's trying to, in his Rex way, live up to that, I reckon.
We've already been through this.
There
was a book. There was a whole book about this. Guys.
What book?
He's just not that into you. She's just not that into you. We had to write a whole book and a movie with all the blockbuster stars in it. It was very hard to miss.
Well, she did it with him. It's confusing.
That means nothing.
I'm just saying.
How am I, the girl, having the very Catholic, very prim proper-ish girl, having to explain to these people that
us half girls,
that if someone sleeps with you, that if someone sleeps with you, it doesn't mean that they love you.
Oh no,
we know that,
but she's.
They still have history.
When there's still have history behind it, it's different. Yeah, it's not like they just met and hooked up. There was history behind there. And,
Wait, were they married?
Yeah.
Were they married?
Yeah.
Were they going to get married?
No, they weren't married.
They were going to get married.
They were going
there
to
was
get married
love.
before she found out that he cheated on her with her own sister, and then again with his ex-girlfriend, and got his ex-girlfriend pregnant.
And then she went and slept with Xander, and that's how Xander and Sarah kicked off.
Now, that was a hookup. I could have sworn they were married, and then she divorced.
No,
they
were
never married.
They had an engagement party, and that was where the whole Emily paternity thing came out. And somebody pointed out earlier that Rex is trying to fight like hell for a child that isn't his. Meanwhile, his own child is probably wondering where the hell he is.
Well, he's been gone 2 days.
Oh, he does have a kid with Mimi.
Yeah. Hi, Dad.
Guys, we don't have kids on the show because we don't have kids on the show. It's not a reflection on the parent. The writers aren't making a reflection on people's parenting when you don't see a kid. They don't have kids on the show. It's not. He's a fine parent just because you don't see the kid. He's a fine.
Well, there were more people involved in the storyline, so we should probably talk about them.
Okay.
Okay. I am so upset that Chloe is gone, but this is the one exit I feel like was earned.
What?
That because Chloe, I feel like even she got closure with a lot of things. She made peace with a lot of things in the last couple of months, I think. And it feels like she's ready for whatever next chapter begins. She's not running away from something. She's not running to something. This really does feel like a chapter has closed with Chloe. And she has made peace with everything that's happened. And she's going into this next part of whatever life has to offer her with grace and with dignity and closure. And with maybe new love with Philip.
I mean, maybe this is just her moment of realization as far as like everything that she's been through, as far as, you know, her dad coming out, Brady, then Xander coming along, and then, I think it's just probably a moment where she's like, I'm tired. So I just need to get away. So, I mean, I can kind of see that. I mean, it's just sad that the tea collector's leaving Salem.
I know.
But I'm also glad that, like, because I read spoilers where it's like, Chloe and Philip run off together. But I'm glad it was just kind of like, listen, I know that I want to explore things with you. Definitely not ready for a relationship. But if we're going to do this, then we can just go and just see what happens. How I feel. I know how you feel. And then that's that.
I appreciate that it wasn't we're jumping back together and riding off into the sunset. It was basically like what you just reviewed. It wasn't like let's just, see what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Way it's open for, if they come back or whatever.
Thank you, Mark M, for your super sticker. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
$24.
Yes, we are rolling dough, honey.
It's a good day. Yeah. It was a good exit for both Chloe and Philip. And I will give kudos to John Paul Lavoisier. He did an excellent job with the character this time around.
He made Philip very light and not so dark. So, speaking of, Megan says, I want to agree with something Tony said last week. I really like John Paul as Philip. I was a J. Kenneth Johnson fan, but I love John Paul's lightness and humor. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
He did have and I don't want to say he wasn't taking it seriously, but he did have like an unserious, or he made Philip have kind of an unserious tone versus when Philip was back last time. And of course, it made sense that Philip was like that last time because he was, not right in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The dark cloud.
Gone. Exactly. He like Philip last time was just all gloom and doom and just looked mad all the time. And John kind of
they're going to the tree.
Yeah, exactly. John kind of, like I think someone said lightened him up a little bit. So
yeah. I think this storyline, how it progressed, made sense. I do wish in a different time we could have gotten in real like fair shot or push for Xander and Chloe. I understand how they did it this time, but I don't know. I enjoyed them as a couple. I think that it was something different for both of them, and maybe who knows? I mean, I feel like Nadia is taking a break, and hopefully she'll be back soon. And
it's got to be tough. She lives in North Carolina. It's got to be tough, like flying literally across the country, and so.
Well, keep in mind, a lot like 2020, people were like,
"Bye,
I'm out."
Yeah, It's been a long couple of years. I credit her for holding on for everything that she's done with Chloe for the last few decades.
Yeah.
She really has. She really has. I mean, think of, when we first met Chloe all those years ago, she was Ghoul Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's
still my favorite moment.
And she's just so. I think she's never really had that confidence in herself. And that caused a lot of problems from the beginning. And a lot of her confidence back then was tied to the way Philip looked at her. And then, and then various relationships, throughout the years, it's kind of been back and forth. And I love how you said, Tony, like she's become the tea collector, the last year. She's really she's grown into her own as a woman in a way that you're supposed to in your 40s, where your worth is not tied to any job, to any man, to anything other than the way you feel about yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I think she said it. She said it like beautifully to Philip in that, like, she's always had these feelings, even since high school. And I think when you say, she's never had that confidence, I think she has, but it was nice that someone saw her, and Philip saw beyond what everyone else was saying about her, and actually saw Chloe for who she is, which was more than just a beautiful woman, but I'm still mad they tried to act like she wasn't pretty by putting her in all black and glasses.
It's like she was still gorgeous even as Ghoul Girl. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like, y'all completely tried it.
And the goth phase was in back then.
It was the 90s. It was definitely that. Okay, so wait, what?
Oh no! It was like a whole decade of it too.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're done with that storyline, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So our next storyline is about the magic penis and a wig. And there is a lot to digest with this. And so I feel like the only way that we can start this off is with Gwen's exit and Theresa's entrance. Let's take a look.
You only travel in style.
Better be careful. One never knows who one's going to run into.
There's my flight. It's already boarding. Flight SK-84 from Los Angeles has arrived at gate A57.
Well, Salem.
Hasn't always been fun, has it? Certainly been interesting. No, there are things about you that I have loved. There's also a lot of things I've hated. I suppose you could say the same thing about me, though. I promise you,
might be goodbye for now.
You haven't seen the last of this girl.
Flight number 16 from Geneva has landed. Belle number 8.
Theresa, would you hurry up already, please?
Please proceed to baggage claims belt 2.
Call your jets, I'm coming.
So, guys, what do we think of the storyline?
None of you all changed. Araceli, you didn't change your name.
Oops.
So what do we think of this change?
I mean, first of all, I'm just glad that that Gwen like came in and like, I don't know, she just kind of wrapped everything up. Mm-hmm. She has every right to be mad, but I tell you, the moment that I was like very sad was when she was talking to Leo in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, you were the one person that was supposed to be my forever. Yeah. And like to see that friendship like dissolve it's sad.
They had like, that was probably the highlight scene of the week for me was Greg and Emily, like the Gwen and Leo, you know, that kind of, and like she's like, yeah, go to hell, I don't want to be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
And it was legit, like you could tell, like legit sad. Like she had all the tears and the snot and everything, and it was a very heartfelt scene.
Yeah, and like that was the real heartbreak. Like the Dimitri stuff hurt her bad and everything, but it was also she's known him a few months now at this point, and it's been, you know, crazy and weird. But Leo was the one she's known for years, and the real friendship, the real love was sort of with them too. So, yeah.
I'm mad that she tried to cut Dimitri's magic penis off.
She pulled a Stefano.
Yeah.
She was just like, what to do
yes,
here?
It is lovely.
And also
I like how Peter Porte had to act like he couldn't reach call button. And I was like, he could easily reach that call, but I'm sure like, no, you have to act like you can't reach it, even though it's like right here. That kind of made me giggle. I was like, is he supposed to be? I guess he was supposed to be weak from his gunshot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you think she was actually going to do it?
I didn't. And like then she started lifting up the sheet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, someone's going to stop her. And yeah.
Someone else tried to do that one time, wasn't it? Was it Sammy?
Stefano tried.
Oh, Stefano, the Wraith.
With Wraith, the fake.
Yeah, with Wraith. And I remember the call with the henchman, and the guy was in the room, and he's like,
yes.
Cut it off.
Yeah.
And the henchman was like, what?
Yeah.
And Stefano was like, cut it off. And I think Sammy's the one that like foiled the bobbiting.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Well, Sammy would know that. Yeah. She's castrated before her.
Rightfully so, though. Alan.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He didn't deserve to have that thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love that. I love how Kristen and Gwen lit up when Jada got there after like realizing like that she has to arrest Dimitri, and them both being like, well, that's the best news I've heard all day.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then she realized she's about to inherit all that money because she's still married to him.
I hope that we still get Gwen updates from afar. I really hope that she makes progress with the von Leichners and just milks it for everything he's got.
Yeah. I want to see Gwen come back the richest person and how that changes the dynamic, like her when she comes back to Salem, hopefully soon. Yeah, like that dynamic would be cool.
I do think this is appropriate time though for a character break with Gwen.
Yeah.
Like it's been she's been a lot for 3 years. Yeah. And so I think this was a good kind of send off for her, and they can always bring her back. Was she as bad a character as everybody, that character gets so much hate, but she showed it went back and forth for me. Like sometimes I was on her side, but then other times, and I think it was when she did something with the antidote, when she had the antidote to make Sarah not think she was 5 years old again. And she injected it or she didn't inject it. I can't remember exactly what she did or didn't do. And that's when I was like, girl, come on.
Yeah.
But
she was a villain that we love to hate.
Yeah.
Because Emily has done such a good job with the character.
Yeah.
When she first came on, it's funny to even remember, remember she was Claire's friend and roommate.
They were in Bayview?
Oh,
yeah, Bayview together. And she had the connection to Jake. I wasn't crazy about the character during that part. I liked the Claire stuff, but the Jake stuff was
the Jake stuff was
was kind of weird. And I was like, but when they took her out of that orbit and then they put her with the revenge scheme against Jack and the Devereaux and Abigail, I was like, okay. That from then on, the character sort of became really interesting to me. And I just think Emily she's done an amazing job the past few years.
She's done an amazing job. She's been in daytime for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So and now there's been a switcheroo. And I for one am open for it, and I'm curious to see her interpretation of I almost said Gwen, Theresa. Her interpretation of Theresa, and no, not just speaking in a non-British accent, but I'm curious to see how her entire demeanor and the wig, it's daytime can some Krista Allen,
they never get it right the first day,
they'll fix it,
yeah. Well, it's what it was. I thought the moment was very beautiful and this nice, heartfelt, goodbye to Gwen's character, and literally her boarding a plane. And did you guys hear that? While she was standing there, they were flight
from Los Angeles
just landed, and I was like, oh, that's a little touch. Okay.
Here they come.
It's it's setting up, and so then she leaves with her bag to the left. And then Brady comes from the right and is like, come on, Theresa. And then she's just like,
cool. And I love that they had her cover her face.
Yeah.
And the reveal.
The reveal of it's the person who just left in a wig. But
you haven't seen the last of this girl. Oops.
Here's the thing. I will say this. In the beginning, I was like, because, we've heard rumblings about this for quite some time, right? And I was hoping that it wasn't true because it didn't make sense. Now there's all the articles out there and everything like that. But one, I feel as we stated, Emily is such a talented actress that I think she's going to do great to carry out the rest of the Theresa storyline.
Sure. Definitely.
I hope, and I'm not on soap Twitter like everyone else, I hope that people are not giving Emily slack for the recast, because sometimes you're just put in a position where okay, well, this is what's happening and I have to make it work, So instead of is the right word condemning her, or making her feel
villainizing her for a situation that
that she probably had no control over.
Yeah.
Was
she just supposed to I saw, well, she should have said no. Why?
Right. But
if it was something presented to her, why should she have said no?
Right,
yeah,
right
guys,
now,
we don't know anything about her contract.
You just have to support her.
We don't know anything about. We don't know. It could have been in her contract that she played Gwen for a certain time, and then they switch it up. We don't know. We do need to give a lot of grace to Emily and how she's going to portray Theresa. Is she going to portray Theresa exactly as Jen Lilly? No. And yes, Jen Lilly created the character, and yes, the way that things played out, it was messy. It was not something that I would have or anybody saw coming. And it was, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate this happened the way it happened, but it's happened. And we just need to give grace to the performers and them being able to do things at the turn of a dime, which is what soap actors do, because soaps are just so fast paced. Unfortunately, sometimes they're asked to do things at just the drop of a hat.
True, but yes, agree with all that. I mean, I think we just have to be fans with open arms and just let the journey happen. And you have to believe in the talent of these actors, that they're going to do their best to portray the character as best as they can. Will she be a Jen Lilly? No, because only Jen Lilly is Jen Lilly and Emily is Emily. But I think give her time. Give the wig time to be styled like Jen Lilly's hair. Just give it time.
Well, and they could for the the whole wig thing, that could be for the transition, and then it could be they ditched the wig and it's actually Emily's hair, and they mention oh, you colored your hair or something. They can make it work.
I mean, she does look good as a blonde.
Yeah, she does look good. She's one of those characters. She's like Stacy. Stacy looks good as a brunette, like dark hair or blonde hair. And Emily's the same way. She had dark hair on YNR. She's had lightish hair on Days. It's like it works for both. But yeah, I'm excited. I want to see. I'm glad they found a way. They didn't just write Emily off. They found a way to keep her.
Yeah.
I feel like just judging by the articles that have been written and everything like that, I think we can dissect that maybe the situation wasn't maybe handled as best as it
doesn't sound like the communication about what was going on was presented properly to any of the parties. Of course, we've only heard one side. All of it's been one side. We haven't heard anything from any other side. So
it's also quick to note that some of those people are no longer even at Days anymore. And so this is the problem. This is a situation that happened X amount of months ago.
The turd has been flushed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So hence unfortunately, quite the number of exits that we have seen.
And just a reminder, in general, most of your favorite characters are recasts. There's there's only a handful of people on Days who were the original people who started the role. Most of the people that you love are recast. They may have been recasted 20 years ago or 10 years ago or whatever, but most of them are recast. So this idea of automatically disliking someone or not giving someone, I don't know. I never understand it, but that's a different game, I guess.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are just going to embrace this change and really figure out now, where the storyline is supposed to go with Theresa. We may not have the original Theresa, but we have a Theresa. And so we're just going to see how everything goes, So, no one needs to send anyone any backlash or anything like that or be upset. It is what it is. But going back, so there's still a lot to Gwen's storyline too. And Dimitri, Vivian. Vivian came downstairs and said, "Has anyone seen my gun?"
Loudly.
Vivian's not that sloppy.
Yeah.
It irked me. I was happy to have Vivian back, but I just don't feel like whoever it was Vivian, but it wasn't Vivian. You know what I mean? She was still kind of devious, but obviously she came on, and I was going to say it bothered me that she's she's always been gun toting. Like her intro scene was shooting and killing somebody. So that made sense. But it's just like she's kind of the sloppiness where she comes down and is like, has anyone seen my gun? I'm like, okay, like I don't know. It just
right in front of Jada. But here's the thing. I think it's one of those moments again where right off the bat, it should have just been said, you know, maybe she wasn't carrying the gun. I mean, it's the DiMera house. So, you know, I saw the ruckus and I looked around, I found the gun over here and I shot because it's in self-defense.
Well, and these, the whole cover up of what happened was sloppy. Like the police have a gun that wasn't even used. You think the police aren't going to figure that out? Like it was just a bad cover up to begin with.
And the only reason why it came out was because Vivian went upstairs and was like, "Well, I'll be going to the shareholders meeting if I can't have Titan." I'm like, "You need to sit down." Like you tried to get Titan and then that didn't work out, and now you trying to hop over to DiMera. No, you are on probation. You need to sit down. And Gabby was like, "Listen, I'm not having this crazy woman come up in here and infiltrate." She did it,
right?
Yeah,
she did it. And she's like that girl in that video when Cardi B threw the mic.
Oh,
yeah.
She did it. Right here. She did it.
But it was nice having, I say like, oh, it was Vivian, but it wasn't Vivian. It was nice having that presence again for a little while.
Yeah, it was nice. I just wish that it was, I felt like she was there really to serve other plots. And I wish maybe like for her coming back for such a short stint, it was something maybe, I don't know, something that actually like really involved her. Do you know what I mean? Like the Victor stuff was really about Alex's paternity. That's what it was really about. The stuff with Stefan was really about either putting a wedge with Stefan and Gabby that we may see factor in a little bit later. We know Camilla is going to be leaving very, very soon. So there's that. I don't know. I wish like we got more Vivian in a Vivian plot, maybe kind of a thing. But you know, it was nice having her.
Oh, I didn't know that when she first came on, she said I shoot first and ask questions later. That's an interesting trivia thing.
Oh, that was I think her first scene when she.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Interesting. All right. Well, that's it with that storyline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. We can go back to being ourselves because this was a lot. We decided to have just a little bit of fun in the recast of Theresa and recast ourselves. You know, we here at Dishin Days love to have a good time. And I can't believe we were able to pull off looks that looked like our counterparts, including Anastasia Beaverhausen.
Araceli, was your hair down before?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
I feel like you just had a Chloe moment. I don't know why. I just looked down.
A Ghoul Girl moment?
Yeah, I was like, ooh, her hair glowed up somehow.
I actually purposely do that a lot just because like people say, well, you hate your hair in your face. Why don't you just cut your hair? I'm like, shut up. There's a reason.
I don't understand how people wear wigs.
Like that hat I was wearing was hot. I don't know how people do wigs.
That's a lot. Okay, wait, hold on. Talk among yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So anyways, did everyone else? It seems like our audience liked our looks.
Yeah.
Tony's wig probably stole.
Yes.
His Donna Summer wig.
Donna Summer. Or someone said one of Jack A's wigs. I died.
She has the same. I think she has the. Jack A uses the same. Or no, sometimes it's curly and sometimes it's straight.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Too funny.
Yeah, I can understand the need for a wig because just the hair is exhausting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh right. Oh, I guess I should. Now that I'm back as
There's two of us.
Wait, there's two Aracelis. What is happening? Well, before we get into tidbits, just a quick reminder, you guys, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Also, make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Buy some merch at dishindays.threadless.com and show some love to JLJ Media, our former co-host and friend, James Lott Jr., who is now in the 9th hour of his 16-hour telethon. Wow. So there's that. I'm still laughing at the fact that we pulled that out.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to Dishin Days, where there's never a lack of fun. Let's get into our tidbits, and we're gonna go into girl. You done pissed off Dr. Marlena Evans Black Robichaux.
This was a time, rightfully so, where Marlena had I didn't feel an ounce of empathy from her towards
Talia
towards Talia after she found out what happened, because Marlena's one of those characters where I feel like she's always at least a benefit of the doubt person, but this time she basically read Talia for filth, and I was like, well, not read her for filth, but I just don't feel like she had that empathy that we're used to getting from
she didn't
Marlena.
have
As
patience.
I said, rightfully so.
She didn't have the patience for it.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have patience.
She did. She was just like,
no,
fuck, man.
Well, okay. There was a moment where I was looking at Belle and I was like, you have every right to be upset right now. But at the same time, Boo Boo, your laundry list of mishaps far goes farther than this one night of oops, my bad. Mm-hmm. And this was literally really a oops, my bad. This wasn't love. This was just pure dumb and lust.
Yes.
That's all it is. And for everyone and I actually felt bad for Talia, because first of all, you at your job, and you've been confronted now by your former therapist at being upset that they now know the tea. Your sister comes to your job and say, hey girl, how you doing? Oh yeah, Belle knows. And then now you have Belle coming in looking at you all crazy. It's like, I would have said, I'm gonna clock out. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Clock out. I'm gonna clock out. Are y'all okay? That surgery I was scheduled for, clock out. I'm clocking out. I'm gonna go home. But it's like with the amount of affairs that happen, it's like, can anyone really be mad?
They can be, but I mean, a lot of people are saying Marlena shouldn't be mad because she cheated.
You cheated on Roman with John.
Yeah.
And Sammy caught you. And that's why Sammy is the way that she is. So if
she kidnapped Belle, that's why she kidnapped Belle and tried to sell her on the black market.
I wish there was a moment where Marlena was just kind of did have that empathy and was just kind of maybe ask questions like, do you love him? No, it was just and could see how Talia was so apologetic and very sorry and realized it was a stupid mistake. Although I still don't feel like they actually had sex. I don't know why. I mean,
they were drunk as skunks.
Yeah, and
sometimes
so it's
that's inhibiting.
But
it could just be, we don't remember, so we're assuming it.
Right. Because when they played the clip, I'm sorry, I'm laughing already. When they played the clip back and she woke up and she was like, what oh no.
Yeah, I was kind of not mad at Marlena, but I was like, are you overstepping your bounds? When part of me was like, how ethical is this conversation? Because at one point I understand sort of not recusing yourself, but separating from Talia off of the information.
Yes.
But I wonder, how ethical is it to then talk to her about it? You know what I mean? Especially since Talia didn't name any names. So you're getting this information from outside and now you're bringing it into your therapist-patient relationship with Talia.
That's
that was unethical.
The area, but it's not unethical. The unethical part would be if she then revealed to Belle that Talia confirmed it, but she didn't do that. She didn't say anything to Belle.
There's definitely a conflict of interest, but she didn't violate any. I don't think she violated any kind of oath or any kind of thing, because like Araceli said, it's not like she heard from Talia that it's not like Talia told her she was with Shawn and then Marlena went and told, well, Talia told me in her therapy set. That would be the unethical thing, as Araceli said.
I feel like it was we were hearing Marlena talk when she said, you slept with my son-in-law. That was Marlena. That wasn't a therapist. The therapist wouldn't have said that to a patient.
And they weren't technically in a session.
Well, well, that's another thing.
It's icky. It's a weird space, but I don't think she broke any rules.
But the one thing that you guys keep forgetting, she is Dr. Marlena Evans' Black Robichaux. So she can do whatever she wants to do. Side note, are we just done with that storyline? Like, did they just go, that's my daddy, and then like now he's gone?
Yep.
Oh, like, well, don't get me started. Like,
I thought there would be more to that.
With DVD?
Yeah.
No, I think we're just supposed to assume that DVD is back at the. Did we get an explanation that he's not like living permanently with John and Marlena?
That's what John said, that they want him to.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Yes, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, it was
we won't see him.
I just still can't believe they walked out of that hospital with that man, and then nobody conducted
no DNA,
no swab, no DNA, no nothing. But I'm just a fan with open arms. If you say it's John Robichaux now, then I believe it's John Robichaux. Well, we'll see how this all plays out.
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
Ooh, and then poor. If you are going to say something that you're not supposed to say, this is how you say it. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me.
Yeah.
Not
you don't say this.
Not don't worry, I'm not going to tell anyone that you slept with my sister Talia. And then the one person who was not supposed to hear it walks in and goes, "You just did."
Yes. Martha said that perfectly. She did. So perfectly.
Y'all gonna give Martha Madison her props, because when I tell you that woman acts, she acts. ACTS acts.
The scene you mentioned the scene with her and Talia in the hospital where they have that so brief like confrontation. I felt uncomfortable because
I did too.
Like Martha with the daggers. Like if we weren't in public, I would beat you senseless. And I was just like, ooh.
I love that interaction, because it calls back to earlier when Shawn was like, "Don't blame Talia," and she was like, "Oh, I don't blame Talia." So I felt like that was the amount of anger for someone. I feel like Belle does have a lot of empathy for Talia, more so than even Marlena. I feel like, because she knows kind of what she's just coming out from in this weird abusive relationship. And so I felt like
she doesn't give Talia a pass.
No. You can. I mean, she's angry at her, but I felt like she has it in perspective, I think. So I like that it wasn't her flipping out on Talia. It was more like, you did wrong.
She held it in.
You did wrong, but whatever. I may keep it moving. I'm not gonna seek revenge on you. I'm not gonna grab you by your hair. I don't want to fight. Like, it wasn't that type of energy.
Oh no. She's a grown. She recognizes that she is a grown woman. Shawn is a grown man. And while Talia, yes, is a doctor she's in her 20s. I'm sorry. She's very much in her own way, not grown. People think that like, but Talia's she's grown up. She made a mistake. Nobody took advantage of her. I'm like, please, let's remember that Talia's just because Talia is a doctor has nothing to do with her social awareness and her social skills and her life experience. She's got like zero life experience outside of a classroom.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, but no, that scene between her and Shawn was just. I felt like that was like 2 or 3 years coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think it's too late for Talia to go back to Marlena and ask for a hypnosis section to make sure that she did or did not sleep with Shawn?
that ship is sailed.
Yeah.
Is it too late? It's too late.
Really
maybe Susan. Maybe Susan would be the better one.
Oh gosh.
Can you imagine her going to Susan and like, hold my hand? Oh. Oh, the things y'all did, I could never repeat.
I can never.
I can't even erase that.
Y'all need
Get
to go
that
confession. Y'all need to go confession.
Y'all need to go confession for your sins because that was sinful what I saw. Anyway, all right. Now we're moving on to the nameplates go merry-go-round. I mean, we went from Vivian Alamein, CEO, to Maggie Kyriakis, CEO, to Alex. What was his? Was it Kyriakis?
Kyriakis,
yeah.
Do you feel that Alex is in the right, being the having the most shares in Titan,
controlling interest,
a controlling interest? Thank you very much. You know, it's like a gentleman's deal.
A gentleman. Oh God, we had a gentleman's agreement. Yeah. We had a
gentleman's agreement. Because he has controlling interest in Titan. Do you think he is? It is within his right to be the CEO, or do you think Maggie should have returned as CEO?
He's totally in the right.
I think, I hate to say it because I don't like someone doing that to someone like Maggie, but she was so hard on him before. And I didn't really get the idea that he was doing it out of spite.
Yeah,
I feel like what I mean? Like the way he played it, it wasn't like, well, you fired me, so now I'm firing you, which is kind of what I expected when I read what was going to happen. He wasn't really smug about it. He was honestly like really sincere. Like that's what he and I wasn't being, this kind of sums it up. Like I wasn't really a fan of it, but yeah, he was in the right. If he has controlling interest, he can either go through, he said, I can go to the board and they can, or you can just let me have it. And but I don't know, maybe there was another solution.
In true Alex fashion, it's not what he did, it's how he did it. He seems to have no awareness a lot of the times of how things can be done differently. Like, he just announced that it was going to be. He didn't have a conversation with Maggie about it first before he showed up with the papers. He could have had a conversation with Justin. To my knowledge, he hasn't had any conversations with Justin since this bomb dropped.
Why would Justin need to be in a conversation about Titan? Justin's not involved with Titan.
Yes, he is. He's as an attorney. Well, he's not directly. He's not legal counsel for Titan, but he was his uncle's legal counsel. He would need to be at least informed. At the very least, it's just common decency. And that I think is
he did. You're saying he didn't have a conversation with Maggie beforehand. He had the conversation with her in the office. I don't feel like that was a misstep.
He
did it face to face. He didn't do it in an email or a post-it or
a post-it
or anything like that. You know what I mean? I feel like he did it. I feel like the way he did it was actually, it was, it's kind of crummy, but I feel like it was played very respectfully and just like, like almost like no hardship, but this is just what's going to happen. Yeah. I have the power. He wasn't overly smug about it until someone mentioned after he left and he put his feet on the desk. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't like that it happened. He did offer her, there's somewhere else for you in the company, but she was like, she was like, no, but Victor wanted me to be CEO.
Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of this too is him like taking control of this situation, because he just had a huge bomb dropped on him that, you know, his paternity is different than, or so we believe. And this is another thing, maybe to our conversation last week of, if this is supposed to be Xander, this makes much more sense, because Xander and Maggie are so tight and get along so well that would make more sense that it's Xander.
Yeah.
But the Alex thing doesn't really make sense with.
If indeed the rightful heir is to be Xander, then people would question, well, why the hell would he do that? Because he never trusted Xander with the business. But with the caveat that Xander adores Maggie, Xander would 100% work with Maggie by his side.
Yeah,
but Maggie didn't want to work with Alex, and I felt like, you know, that what Alex wasn't being ruthless. I think Alex was recognizing where things are in the now. And so, not that this was a way of getting back at Maggie, but I think the way he sees it is, why would I have controlling interests of Titan and not be CEO and not be like, it's like Maggie. It's like Maggie. If Maggie had the title of CEO and she made a decision, Alex could still come in and go,
exactly.
No.
That. Yeah.
So it didn't make sense. And I don't think he did it in a malicious way. I don't think he did it in a rude way. I think he was hurting her. But it's like, business wise, I have controlling interests based on this new will. He didn't name you CEO. It just makes sense for me to be CEO. I did put up a poll to ask who people thought should be the CEO of Titan, if it should be Maggie or Alex. Yeah. So we'll see.
I also felt like her little, like, she was like trying to reach him in that conversation. I felt like that was hollow when she was like, oh, ever since I found out you were Victor's son, like, I feel close to you now. And I'm thinking, you haven't even talked to him since all.
I know, and that just happened
so it was so fake. I was like, wait, what? Like, and I don't think they intended for this, but it just seemed like she was like grasping for straws here, or she was like trying to like appeal to him. And it was like, we haven't seen you do any of that. Like, you haven't even talked to this person.
It would have made more sense if she was already if they were already working side by side greatly and they had this great relationship, then that would have made sense.
Yeah.
And I think that, coupled with how quickly Alex came in, is the part that's really tripping me up. It seems like all of this is just moving too fast, that nobody has even had a conversation with each other about what any of this means.
Yeah, they're also using this line of like, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change. I'm like, well, it kind of does change things.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand he can still think of Justin as his daddy. He can still have that relationship with him. But Victor wasn't like some random guy or like some, you know, was a member of his family who he had, you know, kind of had some strife with a bit, but also like really loved. So it's I feel like they're looking at Alex to just be like, oh, get over this. Like, it's fine. It's like, no, it's not fine. Like, he just found out his whole life is not a lie, but is not what he perceived it to be.
Exactly. Well, we'll see if the nameplate sticks, because as of right now, Daenerys and Titan are keeping that man in business, or woman, that person in business. All right. Well, that was your week of days, and it is now time for our segments, and we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. All I have to say is you have to hand it to a woman who exits one character and enters as another. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to the talented, the wonderful, the brilliant, the amazing Miss Emily O'Brien, because this is truly the definition of when one door closes, another one opens. So Emily O'Brien as Gwen and Theresa in the same day, in the same set, at the same airport, in the same terminal. You get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
There we go. And now it's time for...
Oh, snap! Caption that.
All right, this caption that courtesy of Susan being a mom to EJ, and EJ literally looking like a teenager who just got caught doing something bad. Mom. Anyway, this week's caption goes to Al Gregory on Instagram with his caption, I don't care if you think I'm crazy, but I swear if you put a blonde wig on Gwen, she'll look just like Theresa. I meant to do that in a full Susan voice, and I...
Oh, there's still time to do it. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
No, I mean, you brought it up now, so now we're expecting it.
Caption that.
Like that's gonna... Oh, so you just... I don't even know what... Oh, she is just moving right along, isn't she?
I'm taking you back to October 4th, 2011, where we had the introduction of the character Madison James, played by the iconic Sarah Brown. I know Days of Our Lives fans know Sarah Brown. She's such a just phenomenal actress. And if you are my age or maybe a little younger, you know her as a VR trooper back in the day. But yeah, I love this character. I don't know how you guys felt about her. She was only on for about a year. Mm-hmm. I like that this was a time where they would always bring in people and always make them related to people. And I like that when they brought her in, they made her not related to anyone, which was good. But they gave her a connection where she was Sammy's childhood friend from Colorado, because we know Sammy grew up in Colorado with Marlena's parents. And she was just a new character, came in. She ran Mad World Cosmetics. She mixed it up. She was engaged to Brady. She mixed it up with Kate and Sammy. And we've got Ian. Ian came in as her husband.
Ian Buchanan.
Yeah, it was just a short-lived character, but I really wish they did more stuff like this. We're always complaining about, bringing new people in and getting new characters. But yeah, she was just a great one. So October 4th, 2011, when Sarah Brown was on the show as Madison James.
Yeah, and her and Brady were a great couple too.
Yeah, I like them together.
And then they said kaboom.
I know. Yeah, by Gabby's fault.
And
oh yeah,
surprise! Bam.
And that was
those were the days.
Surprise, surprise. And now it's time for
It's a Gift.
And it's this week's It's a Gift or gifts go to Miss Vivian Alamain, who will never not be iconic on Days. Like the way she enters a room is she never enters a room the same way twice. And you always remember when she's coming, when it's like you could tell if she's even right behind you.
Surprise, surprise. And that has been
It's a Gift.
And now it's time for
News and Gossip.
Yes, we are starting first with some casting news. We have Mr. Zach Tinker, plays Sonny. He's doing a new horror movie called Beneath the Light. It's actually already started filming September and October. It's under the SAG interim agreement, which allows actors to film primarily independent movies. So he's not in violation of the strike. But that'll be coming out sometime next year. We'll keep you informed. But this movie also has has a novelization, also like a online video game tie-in kind of thing, which seems, if you follow Zach Tinker, it seems like right up his alley. He's very much into things like that. It's a novelization online mystery game tie-in, and you can find all that information at beneaththelight.net. And more casting news. Speaking of Angelica, we have Morgan Fairchild there on the right. She is teaming up with a lot of some soap divas from the 80s for a new movie called Ladies of the 80s, A Diva Christmas. Again, Morgan Fairchild's in it, along with other soap actresses, and also from Days, Patrika Darbo, who plays Nancy, is actually going to be a co-star in the movie too. that actually filmed before the strike. It's going to premiere on Lifetime. They don't have a date yet, but I'm assuming it'll be this holiday season, so it'll be soon. But we'll keep you informed. Yeah,
that's going to be nuts. And also in film news, our very own Alison Sweeney has a new Hallmark movie out with her freaking partner, Cameron Matheson. The latest is A Zest for Death, the newest movie in the Hannah Swenson mystery series. If you haven't seen the playbacks, I think that Hallmark now has a deal with Peacock where you can go back and watch the whole series. So this is the latest one, A Zest for Death. It premiered this past Friday, October 6th, and you can watch replays of it right now on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel. Check your local listings for that. And like I said, I think you can go through Peacock now to see if you can go back and watch the rest of the series.
Yes, and we are officially about 2 weeks out from Day of Days. As we've been telling you, it's happening Saturday, October 21st. Doors open at 10 a.m. Is the Peacock plays at LA Live Downtown. We've got some new information that dropped for the second year in a row. Our very own Mr. Tony Moore is back as host and MC. Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you.
Oh, you're frozen. I'm like, why isn't he reacting? It's like,
oh my god,
green.
Oh shoot,
Yeah, I was like,
I'm frozen.
your video's frozen, but you're.
Oh my god. I was like, wait, am I saying something wrong?
No, you're frozen.
And
y'all keep going. We're just gonna pray that
yes. No,
that the stream is still going.
I think we're good. Yeah. And we got some a tentative cast list for the day. You can see here all the pictures of the cast that will be attending. This may change slightly. We'll see if people are added. Hopefully no one drops out, but it seems like a really good sort of robust group of people. And we had an update to Michael Mattis, did an update to his guide for Dishin Days, so go check that out on all of our socials.
I'm just cracking up at Tony's frozen face.
Oh.
It's like such a good it's such a good position to be frozen in.
I feel I'm so scared. You remember last week when we were chatting afterwards and I froze?
Yeah.
I think it's happening again. So y'all just keep going.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be frozen.
Okay.
Yeah. The live is fine. It looks like it's still ticking, so we're good. Yeah.
Yes. So anybody's going, please check out Mike Mass's guide. Tony will be there. We will be there. You might not see us the whole time, but we are there. We will also be at the Bourbon Room to watch the day players the following day on Sunday, October 22nd. If you cannot come to LA to catch the day players at the Bourbon Room, you can catch them on any of their other upcoming tour dates. November 4th, 2023, Stand Up Live in Huntsville, Alabama. November 5th, at Zany's Comedy Club in Nashville, Tennessee. And then in the new year, they will be at the Improv Comedy Theater in Dania, Florida in February 24th, 2024. So that's next year. And then February 25th, 2024 at the Improv Comedy Club and Restaurant in Orlando, Florida. You can go to thedayplayers.com right now to get your tickets. You should still be able to get tickets for the show in the next 2 weeks.
Yes. And last but not least, we have our Daytime Pride event hosted by Spectrum Celebrity Events. It is happening Saturday, March 23rd, 2024 in National Harbor, Maryland, starting from Days Mike Manning and Colton Little, and also from, is it Young and Restless? Or,
Cameron and Cater from Young and Restless.
Yes.
Hosted by our very own Tony Moore again. So all tickets and information
He's back.
Go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com.
Yeah.
Guess who's back in the house? Heels click clacking about. Okay.
Yes. And quickly, we have a really good opportunity from Peter Port. He is partnering with Covenant House, which, if you don't know, it's a really, really, really wonderful organization that raises money to combat homelessness, specifically in LGBTQ youth.
LGBTQI+.
Youth. It's just, you really should hear about it if you haven't already, because it's such a wonderful organization. He's giving up his bed for a night out of solidarity with the Covenant House Sleep Out. I've heard about this frequently. A lot of people do it. If you're able to donate, please go to his Instagram, and you can find it on his link there or here below at Peter Fort on Instagram. I can't stress enough what an incredible organization this is, and what he's doing is great. So please go donate.
Yes.
And I love how he posted this. He started with a thirst trap, and then with a dog, and then said, "Okay, this is what's happening."
Yes. What everyone loves on Instagram: partial
Yes.
nudity and pets.
Yes,
pets and partial nudity.
Yes. Peter, if you need a bed for the night, just
geez.
He's giving up a bed, so you go sleep on the floor with him.
One of the fundraiser. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm saying he doesn't need to sleep on the floor.
No, that's the point of the fundraiser.
Yeah.
Did you?
I was trying to make a sexual joke. Yeah. Okay.
We got it. Surprise, surprise. That works.
News and gossip.
Oh my goodness.
Can we just go right into what's happening this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives?
Yes, please.
So, where are we headed?
I'm Tate, by the way.
Holly.
She's hot.
She's my daughter.
Maybe I'm just after your money. My marriage may be over.
There's nothing between me and Harris.
Belle, you just gonna end your marriage over the... Thank you guys for watching this week's episodes of Dishin Days. Before we head out, Michael Mattis, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MLMattis.
Justin Lee Hareld, where can they find you?
Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And Araceli, where can they find you?
On Instagram and Twitter at Tia323Araceli.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony, or you can find all of us on our socials, which are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. Y'all take in a moment to digest what you just saw on that preview, that promo. I am excited about Holly and Tate, though. That's gonna be
interesting. Yeah.
He looks huge. He's tall.
Yeah. That surprised me too.
About as tall as... Surprise, surprise. He's just as tall as Brady. That's the surprise.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Brady's tall. Well,
I forgot that Alex and Gwen had a thing before, right? So this will be interesting to see if the dynamic changes now that she's playing. She's playing Theresa.
Yeah.
I feel like they had a good rapport.
I like them together. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, y'all tune in next week to find out what we're going to be talking about, which will be your favorite hit soap opera on Peacock's Days of Our Lives. Until then, in the words of my wonderful mother who found her way here, everyone have a blessed week and be safe. We'll see you next week.
Feel better, Mama Moore.
Feel better, Mom. Bye, everybody.